So today we're talking about the Winback feature that we just released in AgencyZoom. And I want to start off by saying, why did we create this feature for you? And the answer is, producers hate working lists. Like whether it's a Winback list, X-date list, any kind of list, they hate working it. But instead, producers seem to put a really high value on what they quote unquote call a new lead, even though everybody knows it's recycled, it's whatever it is. On the other end, agency owners hate the crappy conversion rate and the cost of these new leads that aren't really all that spectacularly new, right? So we decided to come out with a feature that's going to allow your agency to buy less leads because we're going to generate leads for you. So what do I mean by that? Well, what is a Winback lead as AgencyZoom? And this is not rocket science. I mean, this is stuff you already know. But a Winback is a lead created on a customer who previously terminated in your agency. Now with AgencyZoom, Winback leads are going to be automatically created at the perfect time, okay? So we're going to hold these and then automatically create a lead instead of a list at the perfect time right before their expected renewal with their previous carrier, okay? So now we're going to get into it and how this all works inside of AgencyZoom because it's pretty damn automated. So the first thing you're going to do, and by the way, you need to be an agency owner or have some kind of admin rights, and especially to get the reports, you got to have that rights to dash so you can pull that report. Just an FYI on that. So it's really simple. You're going to click Winbacks, and that's going to take you to the Winback page where there's not a lot to do, but click the, download the report. Now, before you do that, okay, your first time in the system, I want you to click on the settings tab. This is where the Winback settings are, the upper right corner right here, okay? I hope you guys can see that. And again, if you guys have questions, be sure to let me know. Let me move the chat box over here, okay? And you're gonna see 3 settings. And we've got them set up for defaults for everybody, but you can adjust these. So before you do any uploading or downloading, make sure you're okay with these settings. So the first one is, when do you want us to create the Winback lead? Essentially that perfect time that I was talking about, right? We have the default set for 45 days because that's probably when they're getting their renewal, and it's insurance, right? The rate just went up with their current carrier. If you can hit them right when they get that in the mail, boom, you're going to be perfect. 45, 30 days, we think that's the sweet spot, okay? This one is going to allow you to decide what do you want to create Winbacks for, all right? So by default, it's all termination reasons. But let's say you're the type of agent that, for short pays, you don't want that. So you might select all, and then you might leave one unselected. And what's going to happen is if we read that a termination was for that reason, we're just going to skip it and not worry about it because you're telling us you don't care about that customer. In fact, you never want to speak to him again. But again, by default, it's all. And then the last one is pretty simple. Who are we giving these leads to in your agency? The default is all of your producers on a round-robin basis, but you can do a round-robin assignment and select only particular people in your agency, and they don't have to be producers. If you choose this route, you'll have access to everybody in your agency, all right? So just make sure you go through those settings and you're okay with those settings, okay? The next step is, how do you upload and how do you use the system? It's really, really simple. You're going to click this download button, and that's going to open up a separate window. Now, you do have to do this in Internet Explorer, okay? Just an FYI. You're going to log in, and it's going to land on the exact report that you need to download. And once that report populates, you're going to see a pop-up. I can't show you this here on the demo side, but you're going to see a pop-up, and it's going to ask you the time range that you want to pull the report for, okay? Here's what I want to say. With AgencyZoom, you can go back in to when you first open your agency and pull one report, and it's going to pull it for all your agencies if you own multiple agencies. So you can go back to like January 1st, 1920, okay? And it will pull every termination and create Winback leads accordingly for that. I don't recommend that your first time because I want you to understand how the system works. I recommend everybody go back to like January 1st to January 31st of this year or last month. Just pull 1 month for me your first time just so you get a good feel of it. And then your next time, feel free to go in and pull the whole report. Now, we recommend that every 30 days, you come back into this Winback and keep doing it, because you got to get the last months in there. You got to get the last months. So again, the process we're recommending is, first, do a test month. Second, go in and pull every damn termination that's ever been at your agency. That's going to create a lot of leads for you. And then we do have a question. I'm going to answer that question for you. That's a great question. And then finally, maintain it by doing it every single month. So the question that was asked, and it's a great question, is, will it cross-reference if they happen to be existing clients again? And the answer is no. Now, I will tell you this. When it creates a lead in the timeline, it's going to tell your producer to scrub it against current customers and that. And remember, it's not a list. Your producers are only going to be getting 1 or 2 or 3 winbacks per day, and they're going to come in as new leads. So it's not like they're going to have a lot of stuff they have to like manage and scrub. So they're going to get like 1 or 2. Every single one of these leads is going to feel really special, and it's going to come right at the right time. So they just have to cross-reference that. I will tell you on the back end, we are working on a scrubbing feature potentially that could automate that. But as of now, that's the process. And that's a great question. I was going to go over that already. If someone has a follow-up to that, please let me know. So the answer to that question is maybe. The follow-up question was, will there ever be a time where you can upload a book of business audit to have a cross-reference? And the answer is maybe. I don't want to make any guarantees. Great question. If you have any follow-ups, please keep them coming. I love these questions, okay? So then you're going to go through that exporting process just like you do a comp report, and you're going to have this CSV file. Now, if you have any trouble clicking the export button, clicking data, and clicking OK, contact us, and we'll walk you through it on a one-on-one basis. But long story short, all you're going to do is you're going to click upload, and then you're going to find that report. So wherever you saved it. So I saved my test report, and let me make sure everybody's muted. Cool. I saved my test report here. Let me see. What the hell did I call it? Webinar. Here it is. Okay. So here's my test report. And all you're going to do is attach that, and it's going to read it in no time. Now, you may or may not get this screen, okay? This screen will only appear if you have went back way back in time and there is like age termination. So what do I mean by age termination, okay? If the first renewal after the term date on the report you uploaded, okay, so imagine you went back to 2001 and there was a customer that terminated an auto policy in January of 2001, where their calculated renewal date would be July of 2001, right? Well, July of 2001 is already in the past. So again, an age termination is if the first renewal after the term date is already in the past, we consider this age termination. So what we're asking you is, do we hold this lead until the next expected renewal date, which is what we recommend, or do we distribute those leads now, okay? So on this, if you get this screen, what we're saying is, this is only for those age terminations where the first renewal is already in the past, okay? What do you want us to do with those? 99.999999999, maybe 100% of the time, I want you to pick next renewal. Listen, gang, the win-back system is all based on timing, okay? And you have to get away from giving your producers lists. They hate it. They hate lists. You're just giving a bunch of stuff to call. They're not treating them well. Why do producers give such a high value to a shitty internet lead that converts at 3%? It's just because it comes in at the right time. I'm highly recommending that everybody use next renewal. But if you're a renegade and you want all those age ones to come in right now and you want your people to work them like a list, you can do that. But again, 99% of you are going to do that. Then you simply click next and boom. What it's basically, you have nothing to do at this point. It's basically saying 64 new win-back leads are on the way. Normally you see them here. You're not seeing them because I have some duplicates and we handle duplicates away. But all you need to understand is that we are taking care of the rest. You don't have to worry about anything at all. From this point forward, every day that is the perfect day, we will distribute that lead to your producer. They will get an email that says you got a brand new win-back lead, and it will show up in the referral carrot. I'm going to show you that briefly, okay? So up to this point, you should understand what we consider to be a win-back lead, okay? You should understand the settings, and you should understand how to upload it. Honestly, it's gonna take you literally 1 minute to complete this whole process. It's so stinking easy. Okay, so we have a question. Should the termination reasons already be set up in the win-back settings, or does it come in later? My box to select termination reasons is blank. So by default, we assume you want to create win-back leads for all termination reasons. If you're the type of agent that wants specific reasons, then you would have to come in here and say only for the selected ones, and then select the ones you want. But by default, it's all. So by default, honestly, you don't even have to do anything. We think we got it right. By default, you can just go in there. That is blank though. Yeah. Don't worry about if it's blank, because only if you select this, you then have to come in here and select them. But if this is selected, we know it's all termination reasons. So you're good to go. Okay. So now I want to talk about working leads on the front end. Okay. So the lead that your producer is going to receive, whatever that perfect time is, that's what we call working leads on the back end. They're receiving the lead in real time at the perfect time to call the producer, and they're trickling in 1 or 2 a day, and it doesn't feel like a list. It's like a real lead, okay? But then you have the front end. Now, most agencies, I'll be quite honest with you, most agencies are never going to work the front end. And Chad, I got your question. I'm going to answer that here in a second. Most of you are not going to work the front end. You just set it and forget it. But for those of you that do, I think this is going to be more like the mega agencies or bigger ones. We created a front end. So if you see this pending button up here and you click this pending button, what you're going to see is a list of all of the leads that are pending to be converted into leads and when they are going to be converted into leads. So we can see Logan Lowe, there was a customer since 2015. They terminated their auto policy this date. We're going to convert them into a lead tomorrow, okay? And we're going to assign it to Bill. So these are the future leads. Now the pending lead list is automatically going to clear itself out. You don't have to do anything at all. However, for every batch upload you do, you may have somebody in your agency that calls upon terminations. And especially, like, let's say you go since, man, this guy's been with us since 2009 test, right? Why did this guy terminate? Maybe he just missed the payment or something like that. Well, you can go in here and you can work that lead, and you can put in notes for your producer. Wants a quote today, okay? And then you can assign it to the producer, and you can convert that right now. You can just save the quote, etc. Or if somebody's working the front end and they see Jeff Cook over here, and they're like, okay, you know what? Jeff Cook, he's with our agency. I remember we signed him up. Let's delete him out of there so he doesn't ever update or convert into lead. Boom, and he's going to clear out of there. So what you're seeing is a front end of the pending list in order. They come in order on the when they're going to become a lead. But again, you don't have to do any of this at all. 99% of you aren't even going to work the front end. But if you do, you can. And again, you can convert leads as well. So let's take Eric here. And let's say I want to convert him and give him the test McTest. Convert, okay? That's gonna remove the lead from the list, the pending list, and then it's gonna fall into where you work the leads, okay? So if there's any questions about that front end system, let me know. You can see we already converted one lead. That was that lead I converted. Any questions on that? Okay, so a couple questions. Chad asked a question, how can we track these things? So I'm gonna get into that right now. Any communication with eAgent? Absolutely not. No communication with eAgent on anything with AgencyZoom. If a person has home term and auto term, but this is a really good question that John asked. If a person has a home policy that terminated and an auto policy that terminated on the same dates, but they're different dates, of course, because the home would be 1 year and the auto is 6 months, we always take the first renewal. So whichever one's coming up first, that's the one that we convert the lead on. John, that was a really great question. I should have wrote that down to go over, so I'm glad you asked that, okay? All right, so where the hell do these leads go? They go into referral carrot, okay? And you can, well, when your producers, anybody that's not admin, when they click Winback, it's automatically gonna take them to referral carrot, but it's gonna be sorted for Winback. So you can sort by lead source. and you come in here and, okay, now I'm looking at all my winbacks, right? And if I click Eric's name, I'm going to come over here and I can see, you know, a little information about it. Again, here's going to be that note from you, the agency owner, to your producer. So when they look at it, they're going to say, hey, before you contact this, make sure you scrub it. But again, they're only getting 1 or 2 or 3 of these a day. And they can go in here and put notes, talk to him, getting quote for home and auto. Boom, they can update that. Then they can of course, they can move it over. They can move it over to quoted. I quoted them 3 items, you know, looking good. I'm just putting in fake stuff of care. Here you get it. And of course, all that's going to be saved on the timeline history. You're going to be able to keep track of it. You can bonus on winbacks as well. So you can tie, just like anything in AgencyZoom, you can tie these things like conversion of winbacks onto bonus. You can say, hey man, for every winback that you close, I'm going to give you 10 bucks. Okay. Now just think about what we're doing here. Guys, by the way, generally that's the end of the training. It's so stinking easy. You know, you're going to get in there. You're going to look at your settings. Okay. You're going to upload 1 month. Then I suggest going back and uploading all. And then every 30 days, you're going to maintain that by keep uploading that list every month. And what's going to happen is AgencyZoom is going to be generating leads for your agency absolutely free. What's the cost of a winback lead? $0. What's the value of it to a producer now? It's pretty high because it's not a lead. It's not a list of leads. And they're coming in, not all at once, 1 or 2 a day. They're trickling in, easy to manage. The conversion rate should be, I mean, it's not going to be perfect, of course, but I guarantee you it's going to be a higher conversion rate than shitty internet leads. And it's not going to cost you a penny. All right, gang. Okay, so Craig asked a question. How does a producer know if they got a lead assigned to them? They're going to get an email. So when I converted that lead, I can't show you this. I'm in a test account. I got an email. So in real time, when that converts automatically in the background, they get an email. Just like they get an email from an internet lead provider or Blitz or whatever system you're using that says, hey, dude, you got a brand new lead. Go call it right now. And there's a link to that. Okay, so another question is, I know you mainly converted this lead, but what about the remaining 60 leads? Do they get added automatically? Yep. So the schedule of when, so if you ever want to see, when are my winback leads going to convert? All you do is you click winding. You can see how many are still pending. You can either click this pending or you can click this box. It's going to take you to the list. And right here, guys, see this lead on this column right here? This is the schedule of when the leads are going to, or when the winbacks are going to convert from pending to a lead. So tomorrow, Bill's going to get the lead for Logan, etc. Okay? John asked, should we scrub ahead of time and how soon is this implemented? All right, so let me tell you the complication with scrubbing and what we're potentially working on. I don't know if we're going to do this or not. The problem with scrubbing is the report, the termination report that's kicked out of Dash is in a really weird format with respect to what you need to upload to the DNC scrubber, because you know that the columns have to be in a specific order. And unless you're very familiar with Excel and how to do text to columns and readjust things, you're probably going to be like, holy shit, this is not even worth my time. I'm not going to do this, okay? And we really feel like if producers are getting 1 or 2 leads a day, is it too much to ask a producer on the lead they just got to say, okay, you got this lead. I know it's Eric. Let me go check to see if he's in there. Oh, he is? All I have to do is drag him down to dead. Boom. That's it. Is that too much to ask? I mean, yes, the answer is yes for some producers. But we might work on a system where you first upload your report into us, and then we spit it out in the correct format for you automatically to scrub, and then you return back. But I don't know. We're thinking about that. I don't want to make any promises, okay? By the way, I do want to highlight one thing. How do you keep this cycle going? Because we're only going to convert Eric 1 time. So how do you keep this cycle going if I can't sell Eric today? All you do is you drag him into the X date, and then you say, you know what? Eric is renewing on March, so I want him to come in February. So 02/01/2019. I got too many boxes in my way. Save, boom. Now Eric disappears out of my pipeline, so my pipeline stays very nice and neat, manageable, and he will automatically appear as a brand new lead on February 1st, 2019. So you keep that cycle going. Okay, let me give you guys, so I'm going to conclude the webinar. I want to show you something else that's going to be cool. Okay? Now, over here where it says written business, you guys know about the analytics. I hope you're using it to see things. Issued business, you know you can toggle between those things. Very soon, you will be seeing terminations. So you can see what's terminating every single month compared to your business. Plus, under the analytics view, you will see terminations versus issued business so that you could see what your net result was for any given month over a period of time. That's going to be coming out hopefully later this month. So you're going to be seeing some updates as that. All right, Colin, followed up on his question. I uploaded a termination report. Let me just read this. Hold on. Yeah, okay, got it. So his question is regarding the chargeback period that Allstate assesses you with respect to prorating, and I think it's 180 days onto how it affects your commission. And the answer in the question ultimately is, if I'm not getting paid for it, or if I'm only getting partially paid for it, how does my producer get paid for it? And the answer is, if you're using our comp system and you're using issued business, which includes chargebacks, we're gonna prorate them exactly the same way you do. So they're not gonna get over or under compensated compared to what you get. It's going to be the exact same way. I understand your question, Colin. Hopefully that answered that for you. All right, so if we upload a list from January, it will distribute leads daily to each producer. But today being the 6th, if I download it today, what happens to the leads from 1/1 to 1/6? Okay, so again, we're going to let's take a perfect example. Actually, this is a good question, and let me draw this out for you guys. All right. So let's do this. File, new document. Okay. Let's call this what happens. All right. So we got John, customer. Auto, term date 01/03/2018. Okay. This is what's on the report. So when it comes into our system, we're going to know that it's an auto policy, and we're going to know that he terminated January 1st. So we're going to assume is on 07/03/2018. Oh, shit, I can't type. 2018, okay? Now, here's the problem. Today is August 1st. So that's in the past, right? So then this is an aged termination, okay? So this is an aged termination, which is going to, because we identified at least one age termination, you're going to get that screen that says, what do you want us to do with this lead? Do you want us to A, hold until 01/03/2019 minus 45 days, of course, which is that distribution day, or B, distribute today, which is that now option. Again, I do not recommend this. Don't do this. Hold it until the next renewal. Timing is everything. Timing with internet leads is everything. Timing with X-States, Winbacks, referrals. Timing is everything. You can receive it now if you want to, but we recommend that you hold it. So long story, if you choose to hold it, that's going to become a lead basically like November 15th or November 20th of this year. Hopefully that made sense. Let me know if you have a follow-up to that. Okay, after we do a test month upload, what do you recommend we upload? So after you upload your test month, I recommend you go from the first day you open until July 31st of this year, okay? And get one report and boom, upload them all right? And then every month. So after August is over, you're going to go back and say September 5th or 10th. You're going to go and do August 1st through August 31st. Boom. And gang, if you overlap times with your reports, you don't have to worry about duplicates. That's your question. We have algorithms in there to figure out duplicates and handle them accordingly. You have nothing to worry about with duplicates. All right, how about this? So I'm going to go ahead and conclude this. At least somebody, one of you guys, give me a yeehaw if you think this is going to be a cool feature for you guys in your agency and add some value to AgencyZoom. I hope I get one yeehaw. All right, cool. We got a couple on there. Awesome. All right, gang. Well, we really appreciate working with you guys. And listen, we're all ears. We are a system built by agents for agents. So if there's something we can do to make this even better, you let us know. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.